Hey, and welcome to today's 3x3, where you're going to learn 3 tips in 3 minutes. So you're going to learn 3 tips focused on helping you improve your messaging. And by the way, this is the most overlooked area in communication that we work with in our clients. So if you start to get this down, you'll start to make some real good progress in how you speak. So we'll go through this. Rahul, tip number 1, take it away.
Awesome. Thanks, Trav. So the first tip is you want to give context to why you're saying what you're saying. So that is talking about why something is important before jumping into the details. So if I'm starting a meeting and we're talking about a project, and instead of me going, oh, so yeah, last week we updated this part of the website, and I just start talking about that. If there's some people in there, I need to give some context of why are we working on this project in the first place. So I would mention, so we're working on this so that we can increase our leads coming in from XYZ platform. Then I can go into, so what we did last week was this. And that's one thing that people always forget to do, is because you're in the weeds of what you're working on. You forget to tell people, why are we doing this and why is it so important? So that's the first step.
Why are we doing this? Why is it so important? Thanks, Rahul. Peter, tip number 2.
Awesome. So tip number 2 is speak at the right level of details. If you're speaking to your fellow engineers who you've been working with for the past year on one aspect or one feature of your product, then you can talk in the details. If you're speaking to management, then you need to upgrade a little bit and talk in higher level, put things in buckets. So we call this the strategic level. And if you're speaking to a general audience, you need to dial it back a little bit, soften it, and talk at a higher level. So always be conscious of who your audience are and what level of details you want to share with them.
That's great. That's great. And Rahul, tip number 3.
Tip number 3 is to balance between what we call left brain and right brain information. So left brain information is the logical, analytical side of your audience. So these are things like using data, history, facts, reasoning. So as if you're logically explaining something to someone, and that's going to appeal to a certain type of crowd. But you don't want to end there. And Peter's going to tell you about the second piece.
The second piece is balance that left brain with emotion. So you're going to have balanced left brain, which is logic, and right brain, which is emotion. Emotion doesn't mean you're emoting in front of your audience. It doesn't mean you're going to cry or laugh. It means you share something that affects them viscerally, emotionally. And it could be a story, it could be an example, it could be a scenario, it could be an analogy, it could be a metaphor. Like, for example, if you're into cryptocurrency lately, you probably have seen lots of clips on cryptocurrency. And one of the proponents of cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, always compares it to the apex predator. So that's a metaphor or an analogy of Bitcoin. Notice it creates a visceral reaction, and that's going to help it stick with the audience.
Great. Well, thank you. And there it is. 3 tips in 3 minutes for how to improve your messaging, the most overlooked area in your communication. Take one of these, run with it, start to implement it, come back and keep going with it. See you next time.